today I'm going to be talking about a bunch of different things that I wish I knew as a beginner lifting. For all my beginners out there or people that just started, I'm going to give you guys some gems, some key things to remember when you're starting out lifting about nutrition, about working out, all that stuff. I'm going to give you some gems that I wish I knew when I first started lifting. I probably started actually lifting 3-4 years ago, and this is a progress picture of what I looked like. I didn't take too many progress pictures throughout, but I've been lifting seriously and watching my nutrition a little bit for the last like 4 or 5 months, and this is what I look like now. So I'm about to give you guys a bunch of gems that was able to get me from here to here, okay? So from then till now. The first big one for anyone out there who's just starting, the first big one is you need to be training till failure, okay? If you're just starting, the number one thing that I would stress to you is low weight, get your form correct. Whatever exercise you're doing, make sure the form is correct. That matters so much more than just shoving around a bunch of weights. Shoving around a bunch of weights is not going to get you there. What you need is the proper form so you're hitting the exact right muscle. But I say low weight because you can easily get there. You're not going to be forced to like move in different areas, so you're like jeopardizing form to get the weight there, or whatever type of movement you're doing. You don't want to be in a position where you're trying to like overcompensate in other areas to get the weight up. You want to have a weight that you're comfortable with and that you can do for reps. Okay, and the next thing is once you find that weight that's good for you and you've got the form down, burn it out till failure. I'm talking about you should be in the gym sweating. You should be in the gym, like when you go there, whatever it is you're doing, you should be going so hard that this is what's going to build the most muscle. Is if you just go for like, let's say 12 reps. Let's say you're doing tricep push downs and you do a bunch of reps and you fail out at like 12 reps and it's like still pretty easy. You're not really going to get that many gains. But let's say you've picked a weight where like at 10 reps, you're like, oh fuck. And then you have to start like kind of jeopardizing your form a little bit. And that's where you want to be. You want to be like 10 reps, like, it's slowing down, really slowing down in the 11th rep. Can't even get it there. And then you know you've maxed out. So you should be failing out every time. Whatever it is you're doing. If you're out doing bench, you need a spotter. If not, get on a machine that helps with bench, or a Smith machine that you can lock it out. Or you're doing dumbbells. You should be doing dumbbells. If you don't have a spotter there, you can be doing dumbbell bench. And then as soon as you're out and you can't go anymore and you can't get it up, just drop the weight. Okay? So the number one thing I would say is train to failure. That's better. It's better going in for 30 minutes. It's better being in the gym for 30 minutes, hitting 2 chest exercises and going straight till failure. You will gain so much more muscle than going to the gym for an hour and a half, hitting 4 or 5 chest exercises, and they're still pretty easy. Because those 2 exercises that you hit for chest, if you go out to failure, like truly fail and truly like really push it, you are going to feel that soreness so much. You're going to feel that chest so much. That's my number one thing I would say. Spit out my gum here. The second thing I would say, high protein meals, man. Nothing will give you gains like training to failure and eating high protein meals. Okay? High protein meals, I'm talking about, you should be getting in, let's say you weigh like 170, 180 to 200 pounds. You should be getting at least like 150, around 140 to like 180 grams of protein every single day. You should be getting like 0.7 grams of protein per body weight. And that's going to maximize your muscle growth so much. Like you guys will see so much of an improvement. When I was younger, what I used to do before even taking my health, like I would try to eat protein. You know, I'd see chicken there. I might eat an extra bite of chicken or whatever. But I wouldn't like think about it each meal. I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to get calories and I'm lifting in the gym, so that's what matters. But I'll tell you this, yeah, you'll gain muscle, but you won't look how you want to look. You're going to look pudgy. Your muscles aren't going to like grow as fast. They're not going to pop. They're not going to be hard. They're not going to be like no skin on them. Like if you want it like that and you want to be able to see, like people walk down the street and they see like muscles, they see veins and stuff, you need to be eating protein-rich meals. That's one of the biggest things. I used to eat like frozen pizzas a lot. I used to eat like fucking like a lot of like just carby, fatty foods that are like easy to get, but like it's not optimal. You got to be eating protein-rich foods. That's one thing that I need to stress. Also, protein-rich foods that are whole foods. That's another, like that's, if you want to go a step further, that's another thing is like, if you want to go a step further, start eating real like chicken. Start eating real ground beef. Start eating turkey. Start eating salmon. Start eating eggs. Eggs are huge. Like those type of foods, whole foods, protein-rich foods that are whole, are going to help you so much. And then also on the carb side, if you really want to look fucking jacked, eat whole foods of carbs. Don't eat complex carbs. Eat shit like processed carbs, I mean. Don't eat that shit. Like, don't eat fucking chips and fucking granola bars and shit. Like, eat like a sweet potato with chicken. Or fucking like potatoes or rice or shit, use fruit for your carbs. Eat fruit for your carbs and don't eat too much sugar. But that's like if you want to go a step further. But most importantly, just eat protein-rich foods. Another thing I want to stress is prioritize cardio. If you're someone who doesn't do much cardio, like if you're someone who's an athlete, like a lot of my friends are athletes, so we like go play ball often, like that's enough cardio. But if you're someone who doesn't do any cardio, doing some cardio with lifting heavy, like let's say you're just a guy who's like, okay, I'm going to start going to the gym 5 times a week and I'm going to start lifting heavy, which is a lot of guys. And they don't prioritize cardio at all. Cardio will slim down your fat and while you build muscle. So you'll be essentially like working double. Like you'll be killing 2 birds with 1 stone almost. Not really. You're killing 2 birds with 2 stones because you're doing cardio and weightlifting. But it's like you're attacking it from 2 different angles. You're going to lose fat while you gain muscle, and it's going to be the shot to like where you want to be physique wise is going to be so much steeper and so much faster if you're doing both of those rather than if you're just doing build muscle, where you're going to slowly build muscle and you start eating right and you're slowly going to fucking lose fat. But if you want to fucking hit that shit hard, I would say big time cardio. Another one is if you don't know what to do in the gym, find maybe it's a coach, maybe it's a personal trainer that's going to help you. That's going to help you in the gym. It's going to help you with form, help you with diet, help you kind of get all these things in check. There's so many coaches out there that can help you to get all these things in check. I'm one of them. There's so many online. You can, like my clients have seen so much improvement from when they started their fitness journey to now, just from like, I haven't even been doing it too long. And just in the last like year or so, in the last like 4 or 5 months that I've had clients, the improvements that they have made are crazy because when you hold someone else accountable and they are held accountable by something else that's not just themselves and just saying, oh, I want to eat better. When it's like, no, you got to eat this amount of protein every day. You wanted to be a mentee, like you wanted to get a coach. Well, I'm your coach and I'm telling you, you have to eat this much protein every day. You have to go to the gym this many times a week. You have to hit these exercises. When it gets accountable like that, it gets really scary. The shot to the top gets really, really scary. Like you're going to get there so fast. And it's so true. But obviously if you don't have money for coaching and you don't have and money for to spend on that stuff, there's so much stuff on YouTube to look up proper forms, to look up good diets, to look up the right foods to eat, all these things. Another thing is find a split that you like. Find the workouts that you like to do. For example, if you're going 3 days a week, you maybe should be hitting, let's say you're just going to 3 times in general to the gym. That's the only time you're going. You should hit back and chest on the first day. Back and chest. And you don't even need to be in there that long. 3 2 to 3 exercises for chest, 2 to 3 exercises for back, and you're done. Go hard, break a sweat. You only need 3 times a week, dead ass. If you're eating right, you're not stuffing your face with processed bullshit and going out and drinking heavy and eating a bunch of bullshit every weekend, you don't need but 3 times a week. Go to the gym, hit chest and back. Go on the second time and hit legs. And then go the third time and then do like legs and shoulders if you can do both. Do some legs, do 3 exercises of legs, and then do 2 exercises to get shoulders. Because shoulders are one of the biggest things. That's what I'm talking about next, so I'll just leave that. But shoulders are one of the biggest things. And then the last day, do arms and cardio. Do biceps and triceps, and then get on the cardio machine and do some cardio. If you're not doing any else cardio at any other time in your week. And that's 3 days right there that, boom, you'll be great. And the other thing I want to talk about, like I just said, was shoulders. Shoulders, if you're someone who's a beginner and wants to upgrade their physique, let's say they're super skinny. If you're super skinny and you want to look strong and you want your physique to go up, for anyone even who's trying to upgrade their physique, shoulders are such a big deal in physique because it makes you look that V line of like your body. It makes it, when you have broad shoulders, that's what it looks like. And when you have caps on your shoulders and it makes them look 3D when you're doing your rear delts, your front delts, and your side delts, and it makes it look 3D, it makes your whole body look so much bigger. You could have tiny arms and big ass shoulders and it'll look like you're strong as fuck. Same with the chest, same with back. Like if you just had big shoulders, people would be like, you'd walk around like this. People would be like, oh shit, that guy's strong. Even though you have small arms, because it looks like that. And that's the way to upgrade your physique the most. So go in the gym and prioritize shoulders. If you're someone who already goes to the gym and is just starting and you're like, I'm not seeing any gains, or I'm not looking how I want to look, shoulders and cardio. Shoulders and cardio. If you're super skinny, you're trying to put on mass, then obviously don't do a bunch of cardio, but do shoulders and calorie surplus. All right. If you're trying to gain weight, trying to gain muscle, calorie surplus, high in protein. If you're trying to lose weight, obviously calorie deficit, still high in protein, and you'll gain muscle while leaning down. And yeah, those are the biggest things, man. Also, make sure you're training right. Make sure, like I said before, you have the proper form so you don't get injured. Make sure you're warming up properly. Every time before you do workouts, you should be warming up that area. You should be stretching it out, making sure it's ready to go and lift heavy and contract heavy and then be strained again. The thing about your muscles is like they're contracting to squeeze to lift the weight. And then it like, that's where people get injured on the decline. Like you're doing a bench, you push and you're okay, and you come down. If it's too heavy or you're not warmed up properly, your muscle will tear. So you just got to make sure you're warming up before, and you're taking into account that. But yeah, I would say those are the main things. Prioritize high protein meals, training to failure, like going hard in the gym and really like pushing the max that you can do, and every time going back and trying to push the max. So protein, training to failure, work on your shoulders, eat whole foods, high in protein, and hit cardio. Hit cardio if you're not already hitting a bunch of cardio. And those would be my things that I would say for beginners that I wish I knew when I was starting out. I wish I knew these things, and my physique would have been so much better so early. Another huge thing is abs. Okay? If you're someone, this is in general physique, if you're someone who's young and wants to get in shape, go do it and go get abs. Because I'll tell you, when you have abs young and you have a nice physique young, it's so easy to maintain it when you get older. Like, it's so much harder when you get into your 30s to like start, if you're like already kind of like unhealthy and like obese, it's so hard to go slim down and become super fit. Whereas when you're 20, it's not that hard. You're already a bunch of energy. Your metabolism's way faster. It's way easier, way more active. It's way easier to look to get that physique that you want. And it's so much easier to maintain a physique than try to at 30 get that physique, especially with amount of time you've had, but also just like metabolism wise, you're not as active, you don't have much time to go to the gym. It's harder to like get that fat off when you get older. So if you're young right now, go get that shit and go get abs. Go get abs because those things are so easy to maintain. Once you have abs, I have a six-pack and I've had them for like years now. Because when I was younger, I kind of obsessed about a six-pack. I was like, I want a six-pack. And I was kind of skinny, but I would do like 400 sit-ups a day. And you don't need to do that to get a six-pack. It's mostly made in the kitchen. But I would do that shit and I was like, I want a six-pack. And then when I was younger, I had a six-pack. And all throughout my life, like I've had a six-pack. And now that I've actually started to like focus on my health, it's like so prominent. It's so visible. Like people are like, yo, man, you got abs, bro. You got six-pack, bro. I'm like, yeah, I've had it my whole life. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to maintain them. I just got to do abs a couple times and boom, they're maintenance, they're good. So I would say get a six-pack among all those other things. And I hope this helps to anyone who's just starting their lifting journey and they're just getting out there. Good luck to all you guys, and I hope this helps. Sarge out.